Hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with another one of my old movie reviews. Guys, this is going to be, I counted, this is going to be my 8th old movie review of the summer. Man guys, I'm trying to watch as many movies and catch up on as many movies as I quite possibly can. I love this series, you guys enjoy this series, that's why I keep reviewing these movies for you. Anyway guys, with that being said, the next old movie review I have for you guys in this video is going back to 1999 to the Best Picture winner for that year of cinema. And of course the movie we're going to be talking about in this video, guys, is American Beauty. That's right, guys, American Beauty. Not that many people talk about this movie, to be completely honest. This is one of those movies where, when it was released in 1999, it stars Kevin Spacey and it was directed by Sam Mendes in his directorial debut. This was his first movie. This is one of those movies, it was just so hyped up when it came out, and then it took home all those Oscars, and then, like, years later, everybody's like, oh, that's one of the most overrated movies of all time. And everyone's like, it didn't deserve to win Best Picture, whatever. So, you know, I was definitely curious to get into this movie and watch it. And of course, as I said, it ended up winning 5 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actor for Kevin Spacey, Best Director for Sam Mendes, Best Screenplay, I believe original screenplay, and best cinematography, and I think all 5 were very well deserved. With that said, though, American Beauty, I just got the Blu-ray. I had watched scenes from this movie. Like, I saw the ending of this movie on TV. This movie had been played to death on TV, and unfortunately, I knew how exactly this film was going to end as I started watching it, so that's a little unfortunate, but I still nevertheless got to sit down and enjoy the movie. So guys, American Beauty, getting into the plot of the film, this is how I'm going to describe the plot. I'm basically going to break it down, because essentially there's 3 storylines that this movie is depicting or showcasing for us. And of course our main storyline is that of Lester Burnham in this movie, played by Kevin Spacey. Now Lester Burnham is a middle-aged husband to his wife Carolyn, played by Annette Bening, and they have a teenage daughter named Jane, played by Thora Birch. Now Lester, at this moment in his life, just feels very... what can I say? He feels this point in his life is very dull. He feels very dissatisfied with the way things have turned out. And most importantly, he is disgusted with the fact that his family just doesn't see him as what he used to be. They look at him as some sort of loser right now. They just don't see the value of him like they used to, basically. And he just feels he's just not in the greatest moment right now. He's living this very mundane, monotonous lifestyle. Not too many things of excitement happen within his life. And at one point early on in the film, he ends up meeting his daughter's best friend, Angela, in this movie, played by Mena Suvari. She's another teenage girl. And he decides to start changing things around because he wants to get with his daughter's best friend. You know, wants to do things with her, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep it PG here, guys. Anyway, so he starts to, like, reinvigorate his own life when he meets this girl, Angela, and starts to do things differently and break from that just thread of normality, sort of. Then we have his wife's storyline, Carolyn, played by Annette Bening, and she's this realtor who, with the business is not going that well. There's this rival realtor who is just sort of smoking her, and she's just feeling very dissatisfied, not only with her own marriage and her life in general, but her job and of sorts. Her daughter is embarrassed by her and her father, and she just wants to seek some means to make her own life joyful again. And she's going to try to, you know, find something to spice up her own life. Then, meanwhile, our third plot point revolves around their daughter, Jane, who meets and starts to get close to the new kid who moves in next door. Is a teenage boy by the name of Fitz, and in this movie he is played by Wes Bentley. He's this very quiet, very creepy looking kid who basically just holds a video camera and films a lot of things, and she starts to get intrigued by this kid, and the two of them start to grow a close relationship as the film progresses. And that's all I'm going to say in regards to American Beauty. I know I basically said, like, a gist of what's happening. Like, I gave a lot of plot points, but I didn't really spoil anything, so that's all good. But guys, getting into my thoughts on American Beauty in general, with that said, with all those different plot points, I gotta say this much. After watching this entire movie, I sat down to write notes for my review, because I always sit down and write notes in my notebook. And I couldn't just start writing. I had to literally sit down and just think about what I wanted to write. Think about what I wanted to say about this movie. Because American Beauty is one of those films that is just so deep, and it's just, it has so many just diverse meanings and so much intricate subject matter that it's just so complex to just say, oh yeah, this movie is just about life and about being in this midlife crisis and trying to break out of it. That's, I mean, yeah, you could look at the movie that way, but there are just so many other various meanings and just themes that are interwoven throughout this movie. It is one of those films that I think is probably, depending on whether or not you love the movie, should be analyzed by basically everybody who watches it. And that is just what makes American Beauty just such a great movie for me. I love this movie, guys. This has got to be just one of the most important movies that I think anybody should watch. I think anybody should literally sit down and watch this movie for its 2-hour runtime. If you're a teenager, if you're an adult, if you're even an elder person, I think you need to sit down and watch this movie. If you ever feel like you've just been doubting yourself and you feel like what's the word? If you feel like you're not doing anything of merit with your life, you need to sit down and watch this movie, because this movie is basically going to tell you that out of all of the, most difficult moments in life, there's always those little small moments that you need to just really just sit down and take the time to focus on and just appreciate the true nature and beauty of said moments. And that's all I'm going to say, because I have to say this much. The ending of this movie is just perfect, apart from everything else, because this entire movie, this 3-act structure, builds up these characters and introduces us to these characters, and we have such a deep relationship with them. I don't think that one person is going to watch this movie and say, I did not connect with not one of those characters. I think every single person that watches this movie is going to connect with all of these characters, because American Beauty takes the time to fully establish who these people are and just the situations that they find themselves in. Whether it's Kevin Spacey's character, who just feels basically irrelevant and feels like he just isn't beloved by his family anymore, and just feels like he is sort of meaningless. Like, there's no point or meaning to his life whatsoever. And then when he meets Mena Suavari's character, he feels like, alright, maybe I gotta just get back in the game here, Or whether it's Wes Bentley's character, who is by far the most fascinating character, probably the most fascinating character in this whole movie, because not only does this guy have a slew of jobs, he's like a bartender, waiter, he sells pot, but he also just has that video camera out all the time and is literally filming things, and everybody around him is like, this guy's nuts, he's a mental case, he's a head case, he just is a freak. But he is probably the most important character, and probably one of the characters that everybody can relate to. Because yes, he has an abusive father played by Chris Cooper, but he takes the time to see the beauty in everything that most people would just either ignore or not even realize. And that is just what makes American Beauty such a standout movie, are these characters, this screenplay, which is just so genuine. It's got comedic moments. It has really dark and deep depressing moments. It is heavily symbolic with so many diverse themes, from the fear of being amongst the normality and just being normal throughout your entire life. It has themes of vanity and homosexuality. Even it tackles all of these diverse themes, trying to break out of conformity. Trying to not conform to what society wants you to be. Basically, not listening to the rules. Essentially, listening to the rules. Essentially, as some characters do, some don't. You know, it even deals with themes regarding to suburban lifestyle and just how people, you know, feel like they should have just, you know, like people have it all, but they really essentially don't have it all. And it's just those reasons alone that just make this such a standout movie. I could go on. And that's the thing about American Beauty. This isn't a movie where you're going to be like, oh, like, this is just a nonstop, you know, I laughed throughout this entire movie. It's not a comedy. It's a drama. It has comedic moments in it. It has really lighthearted moments in it. It has deep, dark moments in it. This movie goes to dark, deep and dark places. And it does so in just such an incredible way, guys. I know I'm like spewing all of these things that I loved about the story and the script with this movie, and I know it seems like, Mike, just focus on one thing. That's the thing about American Beauty. There's so many things that just work for this movie. I just have to get into them all and just talk about how much I love every little thing that worked for this movie. But the script is just utterly fantastic, guys. The dialogue worked for me. It's just, oh my goodness. The characters feel real and authentic and genuine. They don't feel fake. You know, obviously our character of Carolyn is very fake and phony, but even that is a real person. That is how some people act. And I love how they're all depicted by these actors. Kevin Spacey, man, is incredible in this movie. Did a very good job to earn that Best Actor. I mean, his character goes through so many different transitions. There's some moments where he's just like, I hate my life, I'm so bored by what's going on here, I hate my job, I hate this, I hate that. And there's other moments where he can just turn into that carefree guy who's just enjoying these little moments of life. And oh man, he is so good in this movie. He just is able to successfully find that balance between this guy who is very, you know, upset with his life in moments, and then very pleased with his life in other moments. And I think he just pulled off the weight of this role perfectly. Annette Bening's character is that character we all love to hate, but she is a character I feel some people could probably relate to. She's very... She believes in showing off a lot of things, essentially. She's one of those type of people. She's very phony with her laugh and the way she brings up certain topics and everything. She's great in this movie. Wes Bentley, this is probably his best performance to date. He doesn't get a lot of attention, but he is so good in this movie. I love where they took his character. I really, really do. And there is one moment where him and Thora Birch are watching that floating bag, and what he is talking about as he's watching this, I mean, it'll give you tears. It'll evoke tears because of what he's saying and how passionate he feels about it. I love that character so much. Chris Cooper is incredible in the movie, as well as Mena Suvari and Thora Birch. The whole cast is incredible, and insanely good ensemble cast. I mentioned about how much I love this script by Alan Ball, I believe, wrote the script. The cinematography is just utterly gorgeous in this movie. Conrad Hall, I think, did it. Just the framing, the lighting is extravagant, absolutely deserved Best Cinematography. And this is an incredible collaboration between him and Sam Mendes. Just completely really good work between the two of them, because I love how certain things are framed. If you go on and read up about this movie after you watch it, the way that he frames certain things and some of the choices that they made, it's just... Those are fireworks going on outside, guys, not gunshots. It's 4th of July right now. I'm filming this video. It's like midnight, but I don't know. Anyway, just an absolute incredible collaboration between Sam Mendes and Conrad Hall. Sorry about that, guys. That was excellent. Thomas Newman's score. Holy crap. He is seriously one of the best film composers of all time. He's probably my favorite film composer. His score is just so damn deep. It makes you feel emotional. It makes you feel joy in some moments. It's so carefree in other moments. And then in other moments, it's so heavily depressing. And it just evokes the emotional tones that you are supposed to feel as you're watching the movie so perfectly. It mixes so well with the picture. It is just a lovely, lovely composition of work. I love Thomas Newman so much. One of his best scores to date, for sure. And last but not least, guys, the last best bit of praise I have to give to this movie. In my opinion, so many movies have so many great endings. This film has probably one of the best endings ever I've ever seen in a movie. Ever. The ending of this movie is literally perfect. It's this moment. Spacey's narration, what he's summing up, what he's saying, that is what every single person should relate to as they're watching this movie. They should say, that's right, I do the same thing. Oh, I should do this, I should do that. Oh my goodness. I love the end of this movie. It's probably in my top 3 endings of all time. It might even be my favorite ending of all time. I love it that freaking much. It is just perfect for this movie. A movie about life and about just the fact that we need to appreciate life in general and appreciate what we have and appreciate all of the great moments that we may take for granted. We may take this for granted, we may take that for granted. That is essentially the essence of American Beauty. It means that and so much more. This is such a deep and important movie. I love it so much, guys. It is... I couldn't find a flaw when I was watching this movie. I could not find a single flaw. American Beauty gets a 10 out of 10 or an A+. I love this film, guys. It is one of the most important movies anybody should watch, okay? Please, if you haven't seen American Beauty, please watch it. It's such a masterpiece of a film. I love it so much. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. I just went on I completely raved about this movie. I love it. I love it. I love everything that it stood for, everything that it was trying to say. I got it. I understand it. I connect with it. And that is when you know a movie's done its job. So thank you, American Beauty. Thank you, Sam Mendes. Great movie. Guys, if you've seen American Beauty, let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching my review. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the fireworks going on. But I hope you guys enjoyed my review, and I will see you for my next old movie review. Bye, guys.